I'm a teacher and a parent in Portland Public Schools. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about some of the impacts of becoming a focused school this last year at my school. I taught this the last 2 years at the school where my daughters attend. And in the fall, we were added to the focus list. This news was devastating to our staff and our community, and it contributed to historically through-the-roof rates of excellent teachers leaving the school and families transferring elsewhere because this aura of failure had been placed upon us. Regardless of that, I joined our school's CAP team and spent countless hours analyzing our survey data and making goals with our team for a focus plan. I found that few, if any, of our community strengths, challenges, and concerns were reflected in the recommendations given to us by OEIB. It was clear that the bottom line of the plan was that we needed to do whatever it took to raise test scores. And that's the trajectory that our school went into. With the clock running on our test score 4-year deadline, teachers and administrators in my building have been under enormous pressure to raise test scores. Despite overwhelming evidence that standardized tests measure students' socioeconomic status more accurately than quality teaching and learning, these scores will be the sole measure used to determine if our school will survive. With the few $1,000s we received and support, we bought test prep materials. We subjected our students to diagnostic tests, predictive tests, and practice tests. Our computer lab, which had been purchased by our PTA to promote inquiry and design, was devoted solely to testing and test prep for most of the year. At our school, as at other high-poverty schools I'm fortunate enough to have landed in that bottom 15%, child-centered learning began to take a backseat to test prep because our data is our only lifeline. Here's how this looks at the student level.
30 seconds.
My middle school students last year spent on average 12 hours in state testing and 8 hours in tests to predict their performance on state testing. Many were pulled out of elective classes for another 20 to 30 hours of test prep. Students could feel the gravity being placed on these tests, and I fear many have come to see that these tests somehow measure their worth. I am haunted by the day that one of my students wrote a note to me that the day after he did not pass his Oaks reading test. He wrote that he lay in bed all night wishing he would never wake up because of the shame he felt for failing his test. While this is an extreme example, many students were resentful of the constant time and attention to testing, especially as test prep superseded their chance to take art, drumming, and drama classes and music classes.
2.5 minutes.
I've been teaching in high-poverty schools my entire career, and I am deeply committed to ensuring that every child in my district has a top-quality education. The fact is we are not going to get this through over-testing, paperwork, and by sanctioning struggling schools in vulnerable communities. No, our high-poverty schools need real resources designed to make a difference for kids. Smaller class sizes, wraparound services, full-time counselors, and rich and engaging curriculum that includes the arts, real-world projects, and discovery. With $70 million for strategic investments would be so much better spent reducing class sizes and adding back the services that our struggling students need to be healthy and successful. Thank you.
Woo! Woo-hoo!